quite a lot of you have been in touch because you've been threatened with or are going to be fired from your work for not having the vaccine. Many of you have a few weeks left. Some of you have been given, say, 4 weeks until you will be fired. And I think a few things on this. One of them is that you can't rationalize with the irrational. So this is a completely irrational thing, right? You're being asked to have an injection in order to keep your job. Even when you write that down on a piece of paper, maybe you should, that makes no sense at all. I have to have an injection in order to be allowed to keep doing the same thing I've been doing very happily for years. So you can't rationalize that. You can't rationalize with the irrational. It's a bit like when I was getting divorced from my first husband. I went into the solicitor's office and I was like, and I did this, and I was a good mom, and I stood by him, and I worked hard in the business. And the solicitor's like, yeah, who owns the house? So you have to stop trying to rationalize stuff. You've just got to cut to the chase. And the chase is, you're going to be fired for not having an injection. I think the second thing to do, and it's really important, is to get away from all the noise. So that's noise in your head of you going, yes, but I worked so hard. Yes, but I've been so loyal. Yes, but I'm really good at what I do. Yes, but. You have to get away from that and the media and anybody else giving you advice and try and get really alone. So like for me, that would be here or the end of a pier or the top of a hill or some gloomy place where no one else chooses to go. Those are my kind of places. Get really, really alone and ask yourself, do I want to have an injection to keep my job? Or actually, am I happy with myself? I can find happy somewhere else. What are the things that make me happy and how do I do more of them? There's obviously practical stuff like paying a mortgage, being able to feed yourself, things that you're obligated financially. And I wonder if you wrote all those down, if you cut out any unnecessary stuff in your life, how much do you need in order to be able to continue? And as a temporary measure, is there some place of work, maybe in a pub or doing I don't know what, that would be okay enough to tide you over whilst you work out what you want to do? Because one of the really important things right now is not to be pressurized into their 4-week timeline. You've got 6 months to do this, you've got 2 months to do this. That's all pressure. You need to buy yourself time to make the right decisions. And under pressure, it's really hard to make the right decision. So can you buy yourself time and get by financially long enough to work out what it is you want to do? The other thing about, I think, things in life like this is just because something ends doesn't change how it was. And that's the same with a life, right? We're not defined by how we're ended. So for me, that would be like, maybe your career in that place, say it's a nursing home, was brilliant. And maybe you met some brilliant families and they'll be forever grateful to you for the way you cared for their mum or dad. I know people that do that and they're angels. Whatever happens now in this nasty bit doesn't change all the great stuff you did in that job. And it's really important to remember that, because we can kind of get in the muddle with how things ended. Don't remember how it ended, remember the really good stuff you did there. And then I think finally, and most importantly, it's about remembering that you only get this one go at you, and you get born with this body and it's complicated and it's crazy. Our body does stuff we don't even know it does. I know from my brain surgery, like I no longer can navigate by my left-hand side. I'm kind of nose blind, if you will, on my left-hand side. I don't know anything that's here. Our body has these skills that we don't even know we have until we lose them. So why risk all that just because of some completely irrational decision that's being forced onto you in a compressed time frame? So those are all my thoughts on that. I hope it's helpful. I appreciate it's always said sort of, people can say, well, it's easy for you to say, and I don't actually think it is. I think sometimes you do have to take risks and you do have to be prepared to lose a lot, talking from personal experiences, in order to navigate your own path. And this might be the moment in your life where you navigate your own path. So go navigate well, make sure you make space in your head to think clearly and don't try and rationalize the irrational, because that's a futile task.